we're having a constitutional crisis here in the United States. Trump saying everything is national security. If you say support of world peace threatens national security because American security is destroying its enemies and going to war, then it's a threat to national security. Again, we're back in the McCarthy period. And that's why we're in much more than just an economic conflict and a tariff conflict. The students are very afraid in America. If you're a student and you join a demonstration saying, we want peace, not war. Stop bombing the Palestinians. Stop the genocide. The university will then take the students' names. It will turn the names over to the government. If the student is a foreign student, their student visa will be canceled and they will have to leave the country. The students can be expelled from the university. They will be put on a blacklist that the Zionist groups have created. A student who opposes the bombing of Palestinians will be on a blacklist. If they're a law student, they can never be hired by a law firm because they'll be on the blacklist. If the students speak up and say, we're against the war, they'll be blacklisted and won't be able to get a good paying job for life. This is like being a communist or a socialist in the 1960s in the McCarthy era, when Hollywood actors, screenwriters, editors, all sorts of people lost their jobs because they'd ever had anything to do with the Communist Party or really any left-wing party. This was what the McCarthy period and the House of Un-American Activities were all about. So the universities have been turned into agents of the secret police in the United States. The secret police functions have been turned over to Zionist groups to pinpoint the students who say that if you say that Palestinians are human beings and not to be bombed, that's considered an attack on anti-Semitic because you're supporting a group that the Israelis want to kill, and the Israelis say, well, since we want to kill all the Palestinians, as we're doing in Gaza and the West Bank, then they must hate us. And if they hate us, and then they're threatening Israel. And if they're threatening Israel, they're threatening all Judaism, and that's anti-Semitic. This is the crazy logic that you're having in the United States. So the students are terrified because the universities are acting as the police force against them because they want the donors. They say, if we don't do this, if we don't blacklist the students, if we don't expel the students who are for peace, then our donors are not going to give us the money. And we're in the money-making business. This is, universities are private in the United States. They have huge amounts of money. So this is a kind of war that is occurring, and we're seeing fascism in the United States. Will the fascism of the Trump administration be able to stifle academic freedom here? And as an extension, political freedom. Trump has done the same thing to the law firms. He's attacked all of the law firms whose lawyers worked for the Democratic Party and said, well, we're going to ban your lawyers from being able to enter a federal court building. Well, the law firms have to enter court in order to make their money as lawyers, defending or attacking defending clients. And so the law firms have all surrendered to Trump and said, all right, Trump said, well, you give $50 million to support right-wing Republican organizations. They've all done it. They've all knuckled under. Trump has been able to destroy legal freedom in the United States with such success that he thought that he could destroy academic freedom as well. Well, if that's the case, why would foreign students want to come to the United States? What if the Chinese students come to the United States and say, we're against war with China? They'll be blacklisted. The university will turn their names over to the police, the immigration authorities, and they'll say, you're a threat to American security because you're opposing war with China. And America cannot be secure until we destroy China. So we're canceling your student visa. You have to leave within 1 week. I mean, that's in principle what's being threatened. They haven't really moved yet. What can they do? They've tried to sue and say, this isn't fair. But Trump sort of has said, well, if a judge says that they rule that indeed I'm unfair and Harvard's right, I'll fire the judge. And he's been trying to fire judges. He's been calling the judges communist and Marxist for not supporting Trump. Again, we're back in the McCarthy period. This is a war by a fascist president against academic freedom, against legal freedom, against free speech, against the First Amendment for free speech, against the Constitution. We're having a constitutional crisis here in the United States. And the Congress is completely on the side of Trump because they're funded by campaign contributors. And essentially, you've privatized American electoral politics by enabling private money to finance political campaigns of starting with a primary process. In a Democratic primary, there will be candidates running, Republican primary candidates running. They're all dependent on campaign contributions to buy television ads to defend their position and essentially to attack the other people. American politics is attack politics. It's not saying we have something to offer, win-win. It's we have someone to hate more than you hate the other people. This is the narratives that has shaped American politics for the last century, basically, many books on it. So the question is, without congressional support for the courts, without congressional opposition to fascism, the Democrats are completely in support of what Trump is doing, the Democratic leadership. He's doing what the Democrats want to do: stifle free speech, stifle criticism of Israel, stifle support of peace in Ukraine. Both parties are together in this rollback of the American Constitution to reverse the whole principles of political democracy that the country was supposed to have been founded on. And essentially, Trump is decreeing the law unilaterally, saying everything is national security. Well, what is national security? Anything you say is national security. If you say support of world peace threatens national security because American security is destroying its enemies and going to war, then it's a threat to national security. This is the kind of craziness that you're having here. And I think it must be hard for citizens of other countries to recognize how radical this is and how much like Nazism of the 1930s and 40s this is. Again, it's a fight against the very principles of civilization, the principles of economic freedom, the principles of speech, the principles that all countries are independent and equal, and no country has a right to interfere with the politics of other countries. All of these were part of international law for the last 500 years. All of that is being threatened by the United States right now. And that's why we're in much more than just an economic conflict, than a tariff conflict. We're in a war over what is the future of civilization as a political institution, as a social institution. It's a civilizational fight between the America and Europe on the one hand and the global majority, 85% on the other. And it's a fight over freedom and independence and liberty.